What's up guys, SpinoBro14 here, and welcome to Anniversary Week, where we're celebrating my 10-year journey of this YouTube channel. For this video, I'm going to be doing random facts about me. The reason I've decided to do this is because I want to get across the fact to you that I'm just a regular person, like the rest of all of you, and I'm not just a voice on YouTube. And also because I think it would be very interesting to see how all of you react to some of these random facts, and maybe have some random facts yourself that you want to share, and then I'm all for that. Another reason as well is because I did a video like this ages ago, but I took it down because it was absolutely cringe and awful, and I've wanted to do an updated version of this. I want to try and be more relatable and open to everyone, and some people don't know what it's like to make YouTube videos to a fairly decent sized viewership. So when you watch these videos, most notably animations, it's hard to connect to the person you're watching. So I think interjecting a video like this, you can relate a bit more to me, and maybe some of you might not be able to connect or relate at all. But anyways, here we go. So my YouTube channel name, SpinoBro14, I made up when I was 10 years old. And the meaning behind it at the time was Spinosaurus was my favorite dinosaur, and I'm sure it's a lot of other people's favorite too. And the bro part was just completely random. I think it's just because I'm a guy and the word bro was a cool thing at the time. I don't know. And number 14 because it's my lucky number and it's also my favorite number. Yeah, as you could tell, I was very creative when I was a dumb kid. It's just sort of stuck around since. At some point I considered changing it because it sounds cringy, but if I change it now, then it would kind of go against everything this channel does, like dinosaurs stuff, and I feel like if I did change it, then a lot of people wouldn't recognize me anymore. I'd change, man, and nobody likes it when people change. Well, some change is good, but not all change is good either. You know, let's just move on to the next fact. I have ADHD. When I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and because of that, my entire elementary and middle school years, I had to go to regular checkups, take medication, and I was restricted from eating certain foods, like foods with the red 40 dye. And to this day, I still have ADHD, although it's not as bad as it was when I was a kid. But seriously, I would never stop fidgeting, I couldn't pay attention in school, I was always daydreaming and thinking about other stuff, and I was getting in trouble with the damn principal. And that's never fun. But now it's sort of like a mild thing. I mean, I still have problems with paying attention and stuff like that, but it's not as bad as I was when I was a kid. So, yay for me, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a morning person, even though I would really wish I was. I always have like 4 or 5 alarms in the morning, and I have to get up out of bed and turn off several alarms on my phone and alarm clock, and it still doesn't work. I always end up just going back to bed, or I just can't wake up early, and I also really enjoy sleeping, so that's kind of why as well I'm not a morning person, although I really want to be, because you can get so much done. I have phobia, which generally refers to the phobia of worms, but in my case it's caterpillars. Now, I don't have any problems with earthworms or leeches or maggots or anything else that resembles a worm, but caterpillars I find absolutely disgusting and horrifying. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because they're hairy, or they have these weird nasty colors, or it's the way they move. But every time I see a caterpillar, whether it's a picture or a video or in real life, I always get very dizzy, I hyperventilate, my heart rate accelerates, and I have a slight panic attack every time. And believe me, I've tried to get over this phobia, but it's not as easy as you think, and I just can't do that. You wouldn't laugh at me though, right? We're cool, right? Yeah. And if you start spamming me with images of caterpillars, then I am going to block you for the rest of my life. So don't do that. It's not nice messing with people and their phobias. Don't. I really love movies, especially horror movies and science fiction movies. And I really love the cinema experience with movies, especially when it's going by myself, just to experience the movie in the cinema. And I also have a shelf with tons of movies in my house, mostly horror, some sci-fi, action, anime, and other movies that I really love. Kind of a nerd. Yeah. Or a geek. I mean, you know, doesn't matter. Collecting movies. Does that make me a nerd or a geek? I don't know. You find out for yourself. I love drinking tea, especially green tea. I love the taste of it. I love the smell of it and the texture of it in my mouth. That came out wrong. Although sometimes it can be a bit hot and burn my tongue and it hurts. And tea doesn't really have any effect on me, caffeine-wise. So like when people drink coffee or tea, they get really hyper. I don't really get hyper. It's just like drinking water or milk for me. And I actually don't like coffee either. I don't like the taste of coffee. It's just not my thing. So that's why I prefer tea over coffee. I used to be obsessed with working out. At one point in my life, I used to go to the gym almost every day. I had really big muscles, I had a bit of a six-pack developing, and I had big pecs. I mean, I wasn't like a hipster douchebag jock or anything, but I was very fit and lean as well. Well, at least for my body shape I was anyways. Like, I'm not talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like bulky. I'm just talking like for my body size and my body shape, I was fairly like in shape and well built. And then one day I just got tired of going to the gym and stopped going. I know people say you should keep going to the gym so you can stay in shape and be healthy. And I'd really love to go back to the gym and start a routine. But with college and YouTube and other stuff, it's really hard for me. Plus I have a real life job that requires lots of physical labor. So I guess that's kind of like working out for me, right? I used to have braces and glasses. I used to wear glasses every single day from the 4th grade all the way up to maybe junior year in high school. And then I got contact lenses. I do still have a pair of glasses, like if I'm too lazy to put contact lenses in, but I rarely wear them anyways. So they're just sort of like a backup, just in case. As for the braces, I had braces for about 2.5 years, mostly to straighten my teeth. My teeth weren't terribly crooked or anything, but my parents wanted me to get them, so I did, and now my teeth are nice and straight and clean, kind of. However, I do have to wear retainers every single night, so yeah, that sucks. I really enjoy reading, depending on what the book is, of course. I know it's difficult for most people to just relax and read a book, but for me, it depends on the book. If the book interests me, great, I'll read it. But if someone is forcing me to read the book, like if it's a class or something, I really don't want to read it, and I usually just skim through readings. But if it's a book of my choice, then I'll sit down and read it for like maybe an hour or so. Not too terribly long, I guess. Now, this one's gonna be like the inner weeb of me coming out, but I really, really love Japan. I love anime, I love manga, Japanese culture, the language, everything. I actually took a Japanese culture class last year, and I'm currently taking Japanese language lessons, to speak Japanese and whatnot. I actually hope to move to Japan in the future and possibly teach English in Japan. I mean, that seems like a very fun job. Now, I'm not 100% fluent in Japanese yet, but I'm learning the language in order to speak it. I've also learned some Japanese from like watching animes, but anime really isn't a good source to learn Japanese. If you really want to learn a language properly, just take classes like I am, and by all means, don't use online programs like Duolingo because they're just not helpful. They're not, trust me. But yeah, I love Japan. I'm currently learning to speak Japanese, and I'm hoping to move to Japan in the future because I don't really like living in the United States anymore. Sorry, my fellow Americans. I know, I'm a traitor. Sue me. Going back to the whole learning other languages thing, I actually took 4 years of Latin in high school. The other options were just the basics like French, Spanish, and German, but I was like, hey, Latin is different. I'll take that. It also allowed me to go to Italy and the Vatican City as a travel course. And now I don't remember any of that Latin. That was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've completely forgotten it all. And now, like I said, I'm learning Japanese. Yay me. I'm not much of an expressive or talkative person in real life. Might be hard to tell judging from the YouTube videos because I'm talking a lot right now, but that's different. I'm usually very quiet, laid back, and I keep to myself a lot in real life. I don't have social anxiety or anything, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this video. But I don't really like talking to people either, and I like to usually keep to myself and be alone. I also don't have many friends in real life. So there's that too. I'm an introvert, but an introvert by choice who chooses not to socialize. Let's just go with that. I also rarely express myself in public. I might rarely smile or laugh at something or someone, but usually I don't really show emotion that much. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is beyond me, but it doesn't really bother me. And lastly, I really love rain and thunder. Anytime it's raining, I'll go outside and enjoy the rain, sometimes. If it's thundering outside, I'll go stand by my window and just listen to it because it's so cool. I also occasionally listen to Rainy Mood, which is a website or app where you can just listen to rain and thunder sounds, and it really helps me focus on something, whether it's an animation or another project of mine. I also just find the sound of rain very soothing and relaxing, especially when you're like trying to go to sleep or something. I mean, I could just spend hours listening to rain or thunder. It's just very nice. And that does it for these random facts about me. I hope some of you were really interested, or you didn't know them, or you can relate to me in some way about these facts. Like I said at the beginning, I just want people to know that I'm a regular person like them, And I hope that by telling you these facts that I can induce some relatability and perceive me as a real person rather than just some random guy on YouTube. It's really easy for people to get an ego on YouTube because people constantly saying things like, "You're amazing," or "I really like your videos," and whatnot. And I don't want to give off those sorts of vibes. I just want people to see me as a regular person who somehow makes YouTube videos. I make these videos for fun. I don't make them for attention. I also make these videos to make people happy and entertain them. And even though there are some people out there who are haters, it's easy to just ignore them and continue to do what makes you happy. People will try their best to make you feel awful or constantly bombard you with hatred, but it's best to ignore them, because if you acknowledge them and get mad, that just gives them the edge over you, and if you ignore them, they'll eventually stop. I really like you all to see me as a real person you could talk to, instead of just some random voice or someone who thinks they're better than all of you. And it's best to actually communicate with your fan base and make them see you as a real person. And being able to talk to you all, it makes me feel like I've grown over these past 10 years. I feel very grateful to have people like you watching my videos, because all of you make me happy. In exchange, I can make you all happy. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. I hope everyone understands what I mean, and you all get me. You guys don't think I'm a douchebag, right? Please?